Hey. Hey, y'all. I know y'all are going to kill me. Listen, your girl missed last week's episode. I had a lot going on. And this week we're back. And we have a lot to talk about. So, to make sure that you are notified when your girl finally does make her way through the YouTube streets, please hit the like and subscribe button. And turn on the notifications, babe.
Been through a lot from the start. Just to figure out who I am.
All right. The show opens up with Angela and EADY and pause. I know I didn't review last week's episode, and to be honest, I didn't even watch it. But from the clips I saw online, I do have to start right here. I changed my mind. I don't like Angela anymore. In the review of the second episode, I thought Angela was very quirky. I thought that she was very Sheree-esque, and I do still feel that way. But another negative trait Angela has in common with Sheree is that Angela does not tell the truth. Angela is a liar. Angela is kicking into us and saying that the mom and Charles got into an argument about cleaning up, and now they haven't liked each other ever since. Hell no.
Suzanne, I was at a party with he and his wife one time.
Yes.
I said goodbye to Charles, and then she came over and said goodbye, and she gave me a hug, and then she whispered in my ear, she said, "Can I tell you something?" I said, "What?" She goes, "Wendy, it's only a baby.
Oh.
You can work this out." And I looked at her like, has this ever happened to you? So she said, yes. I said, "Did you work it out?" And she pointed over to Charles and said, "Yes." I said, "Well, then you're more forgiving than me."
That's not what happened. Your mom and Charles don't get along, and they got into an argument because he has that outside baby with that other woman. Don't lie on your mama, and don't twist this on your sister. They're not arguing about cleaning up unless it's about Charles not cleaning up his semen from that other woman's house. I don't like Angela. I don't like Angela anymore. That turned me completely off. So, yeah, I didn't like that at all. Next, EADY lets Angela know that she is having problems with her own sister. And then she makes a quick segue into talking about how snooty Kenya is and how Kenya's personality can ruffle feathers. And we'll talk about that later because I'm going to loop all of that in because I have a lot to say about that. But again, we got to get these nothing ass scenes out the way first. What was another nothing scene? Shamia playing her music with her sister. That was cute, but I could have done without it. After that, it was Porsha for real. She goes to have a meeting about her skeezer sheets and her ghost skeezer hair and her pursuing a skeezer book. Basically, Porsha is establishing a how to be a skeezer for beginners home line. So it's everything that you could ever need if you're a skeezer. You'll get your ghost skeezer hair pulled out. You'll get turned away sideways on your skeezer sheets. And what is this? You'll wake up in Thoughtlandia next to a Nigerian of your dreams. I mean, you better go get the money before they call ICE. I mean, I can't take Porsha seriously. I mean, the book is No Lies of a Real Housewife. I mean, she's not that evolved, but she does talk about being with Cordell while he was engaged to some other woman. And she does talk about being with R. Kelly while he was married. So, I mean, if you want to know some whole business, go check out the whole book. Okay, let's move forward. I was shocked to see Ralph and Drew filming together, and more so that Ralph got a confessional this season. Let me get this straight. Ralph got a confessional, but not Kenya? Girl, this is just disrespectful at this point. Kelly. I told y'all before, I like Kelly. Her personality is similar to my mother's. They kind of look similar, and they're similar in stature as well. But Kelly goes to the Kenya Moore hair spa, and they showed the spa, and Kelly talks about, how things have been going since her divorce. And Kelly says her husband tried to color purple her, and she said she had to waiting to exhale him. I'm like, okay, Kelly. I love that compare and contrast. She's very quick on her feet. And then we had this moment of vulnerability from Kenya. And if you just really think about how they framed Kenya in this episode, they're really setting Kenya up to be vindicated, which lets me know that the network still sees some value in Kenya. And I believe that if everybody turned their TV off for the next 8 or 10 episodes after Kenya's last episode, I feel like they would have no choice but to bring Kenya back. But They're setting it up because they realize, hey, we made a mistake. Now, although they could have rectified the mistake by letting EADY go and cutting her confessional and not letting her be a part of the main cast, this is their way of making sure that they don't have to bring EADY back. I just want everybody to pay attention. Kenya is not forsaken in this moment, okay? This moment of vulnerability from Kenya, she reveals that she put over $400,000 into this spa, which was supposed to be Brooklyn's college fund. And we already know what's going on with the finances with Mark, but Kenya lets us know that she is unsure if she did the right thing. And this is a softness that we hadn't seen from Kenya in the first couple of episodes. And notice from the scenes Kenya did film, which they have shown, Kenya's energy has been quite somber this season. She hasn't been her regular dramatic and rah-rah self. She's been very tame, she's been very mild, and she's present, but she's omnipresent. She's not in the moment. And I can tell you from experience, when an Aquarius is worried about financial matters, we have tunnel vision. Remember, this was filmed last year when Mark was trying to come after Kenya's house. He wanted alimony or whatever the hell that story was. And Kenya had bigger things to worry about than EADY, okay? But speaking of which, the next scene after the hair spa, EADY, she's in the scene with her older sister, and her name is Cher. And they showed a flashback of some of EADY's childhood pictures. And believe me, all of them didn't look like that. And you know that because all the pictures that Bravo did a flashback on, they all had a Snapchat filter on them. So besides that, it was impossible to understand the conversation between EADY and her sister because that nasally tone pissed me off. She sounded like Sebastian from The Little Mermaid. Under the sea. Under the sea. I had to fast forward swiftly. Down where is wetter, down where is better, take it from me. So listen, I'm going to wrap it up there because that's it for the nothing ass scenes. And I really want to get into what we really came to talk about today. Because this last scene, the girls go to this restaurant called The Bank, and it's located in Bankhead of Atlanta. It's not a place that I would like to go to, but hey, the restaurant itself was absolutely gorgeous on the inside. The black and gold theme, it was beautiful. Angela looked great, but pause. Before I get into Angela looking great, I do have to say one thing. Angela, I only wish you had some double-sided tape for those boobs because they were too big, they were too heavy, and they were sagging too much. Had she picked up those boobs, Angela's look would have been a 10 out of 10. I just have to say that. Nonetheless, Angela looked really pretty. Somebody else who looked really pretty, Drew. Drew looked the best I had ever seen her. Her hair color was perfect. That dress, simple, classy, perfect. Drew looked amazing. Kelly, that was another one. She looked absolutely stellar. I love those pants, those sheer see-through lace. That was perfect. Her top was perfect. Her hair was perfect. Everything Kelly had on was perfect. Porsha, she looked okay. You can tell she is trying to save money because of the divorce because it was very understated. It looked like something she had worn from seasons past. And then EADY, she comes in and she looked like she was just roll hard and put away wet. Shamia's look, I really didn't care too much for it. Shamia always misses the mark for me when it comes to fashion. I think Shamia dresses like those old ladies at church. I don't think. I don't want to talk bad about Shamia. Let's move forward. Let's go here. So before everybody sits down, Shamia and Angela, they decide to let bygones be bygones. You know, I did see the clip from last week where Shamia was talking about Angela saying that she had a nose job like LaToya Jackson, and then Angela saying that Shamia looked like Flavor Flav. Listen, I don't think any winners are in that moment. I felt like Shamia was fishing for a problem with Angela. And so many people said, well, you know, that's colorism because she talked about her nose. No, I don't fucking think so. I think that when you start talking about somebody's appearance. And then you brought up LaToya and Janet Jackson. What did LaToya and Janet Jackson do? They haven't bothered anybody. And you're talking about their nose and insinuating that it looks bad. And then when she calls you Flavor Flav, then it's like, okay, well, why are we talking about a dark-skinned nose? Why are we talking about a black woman's nose? No. Shamia started that. But I want to move forward because that was a nothing-ass scene they really could have left out. I want to talk about the ladies deciding to move on at the table, and they're playing a game of questions. And I only want to talk about the 3 questions that came for Kenya. And the first question, it started with Kelly. Kelly asks, Kenya, what color panties are you wearing? Now, pause. We have to put this into context. Kelly is a new girl. That could be offensive to someone you don't really know like that. But Kenya did a little playful dress flare. She stood up, she showed a little skin, and then we saw Porsha commenting on how big Kenya's coochie was. So Kenya was in a playful mood, and I'm just setting the scene because, in my opinion, based on everything I've seen from Kenya from season 5 to season now, if Kenya really came in guns a-blazing, she would have not even got up and did that little dress flare because she would have been offended. Like, why are you asking me what color panties I'm wearing at this black tie event? Like, come on now. So, I say that to say Kenya was in a pretty decent mood. And as for the person who wrote that question, I believe Porsha was the one who wrote that question because we all know that Porsha is the resident lesbian at the table. Let's move on. The next question that came for Kenya, it was Drew. Drew asked Kenya, why are you so worried about happily married woman? And again, Kenya playfully responded and she said, it's a habit. And then she laughed it off. And that's the question I honestly believe EADY wrote because it was not in proper subject-verb agreement. It should have been, why are you so worried about happily married women? But she said woman. So I believe EADY doesn't know how to spell woman and women. I believe that. That was Easy's question. Next, here comes the third question. And if you're noticing the pattern here, everybody's questioning Kenya. And it's so weird. We got 7 ladies at the table, but Kenya's repeatedly in the hot seat. So here is where shit went left. The third question, and I honestly believe this question came from Kelly. Kelly wrote this, and Easy reads it. And she says, can you speak to EADY kindly and not with an attitude? Again, Kenya replies, it's very cheek and tongue. Kenya replies politely. She said, I can speak to everyone kindly. Then Easy interrupts her and says, I'm not talking about everyone. I'm talking about me. Do I need to read it again? So, pause. That type of attitude, that type of aggression, she's coming in hot. She's coming in hot. And then Kenya lets her know, you're coming for me. Peasants cannot come for queens. And then EADY jumps up, go back and rewind it. She jumps up and she starts calling Kenya a bitch. Everybody knows how Kenya is about people calling her a bitch. That's a trigger for Kenya. It's not new. Since season 5, when Kenya came on, Kenya let all the girls know who used that word in a flippant way. Nene and Porsha. Kenya said, I don't like that word. Do not call me a bitch. She's been doing that since season 5. I only remember Kenya using that word one time, and that was season 11 when she was going back and forth with Nene. That's the only time I ever remember hearing Kenya using the word bitch in an argument. Okay? But Nene has started that. But anyway, let's put this into context. EADY has jumped up out of her seat. She's calling Kenya all kinds of bitches. Okay? And at the table, I heard something about whips and pistols. So all I can say is I am impressed that production kept the footage in and they rolled it because we got to see Easy did in fact threaten Kenya with a weapon, which corroborates everything that Kenya said last year. Now, not only did EADY say it one time, she said it 3 times. She said it at the table. She said it when they were walking out at the front door. And then she said it again in the parking lot. Now, I need to pause again because I want everybody to understand that these threats coming from EADY's mouth, This is a natural response from EADY. Months ago, I did a story, and I told y'all EADY got into a confrontation with the woman at the gas station. It was on Facebook. It was recorded. The woman cut her off at the pump, and EADY threatened to pow her. So I just need everybody to follow. So follow me. EADY jumping to one extreme to the next and threatening violence, that's her MO. That's her MO. She resorts to violence quickly, and it's natural because she's an animal. She's an animal. The cameras followed Kenya outside, and Kenya got into the car with Porsha. But you can see Kenya is texting production at that moment because Kenya told us when she was on the Tamron Hall show. She said that after EADY threatened her, she told production, and the producers brushed it off like she was being a Karen and made it seem like Kenya was being difficult. Oh, she's complaining again. And these are my thoughts. These are my thoughts. Up to this point, they had not been getting season 5 Kenya, season 6, season 7, and season 8 Kenya. They weren't getting that Kenya. Kenya has been stressed out from the time they started filming. Go back and look at episode 1. She's been stressed out. Kenya even looks different. If you have noticed, her hair is different. Her skin is different. Kenya looks different. And in my opinion, the producers were egging EADY on to get Kenya activated because they thought it would be ratings gold. Think about it. Porsha's not giving us nothing. She cannot even film in the house she lives in. Angela won't tell us the truth about that outside baby, and she's blaming it on her mama and her sister. Kelly is going through a divorce, but the man cannot be filmed because he locked up and she has a restraining order against him. Kenya is going through a divorce with Mark, but Mark won't film. And all of Kenya's scenes are intertwined with the other ladies, and Kenya is also doing the Candy I'm All About My Business storyline this year. The production team wanted something else. So in my opinion, production got with EADY, and they instructed her to turn it up a notch. This is why she came in on 10. She was looking for a problem. This is clear to me because everybody got in their confessionals tonight and said EADY was doing too much. And the key words in the back of Porsha's car, I don't know if you all heard it. When Porsha was driving off, Kenya still had on her mic. And Kenya said specifically, she gotta go. Because Kenya heard her threaten her 3 times. Production was there. The producers they're behind the cameras. Production didn't step in not once. And if you notice, EADY's husband, he comes out, he's not even fazed. He's not even fazed that this woman who he is married to, that his pandemic wife is going around threatening to pow people on camera. He's not fazed by it. And you know why? Because he's heard it before. This is natural for her. She's an animal. So he's not fazed by it. And then the other girls are just looking like, wait a minute, that's doing too much. I saw Shamia's face looking crazy. Drew, it looked like she was caught in the Matrix. And I feel like maybe Porsha thought, okay, well, yeah, let's let this die down a little bit. So not only did everybody get into their confessionals tonight and say it, but also on Watch What Happens Live. Kelly told Andy, EADY has had a problem with Kenya from day one. Day one. So let's wrap this up with a bow. Because after Kenya reported what had just occurred, Bravo didn't want to let EADY go because that would have been the easy fix. I remember during last summer, I pulled up the NBC Universal handbook for the employees. And so many people said Kenya violated the policy. No, when you threaten somebody, that's a violation of the handbook as well. And the footage detailed the events precisely the way Kenya described them. So if you ask me, Kenya responded the next day, because we're going to get to that episode next week. She responded the next day, and they got what they were looking for. They got the season 5, season 6, 7, and 8 Kenya. Because if production didn't want that, they had the opportunity to intervene, step in, and de-escalate the situation by removing EADY from the cast. They didn't want to do it. They didn't want to do it. And you know why they didn't want to do it? Because they wanted to see how Kenya would respond. They wanted to get Kenya in conflict. Then as soon as they got Kenya in conflict, what did they do? You're suspended. But the other girl, she gets to keep filming. She gets a headshot and she gets a tagline. And she's in these confessionals with that tight ass Botox face and that nasally voice that I have to listen to. When you're pretty and paid, of course the haters would throw shade, all of this bullshit. But if you ask me, I do believe that production is playing the long game. And the long game is they want Kenya back. They want Kenya back. If you ask me, Kenya will be back next season if the franchise can survive it. And EADY will be out. These are my predictions. Because the way they set this up, they wanted the viewers to hate EADY. Because they could have easily edited out, because that's what I thought they were going to do. I thought they were going to edit out all the stuff that Kenya said that Easy had done. The threatening of the pow pow. Because EADY, she got on her Instagram. And she said she never threatened anybody with the pow pow. And I told y'all here that was a lie. If you pull out a pow pow at somebody at the gas station, you think that I won't believe that Kenya can't say something to you that'll make you want to, please. Kenya gave you what you was asking for. Kenya gave you what you was asking for. And it's really, really telling to me how Porsha is now taking pictures with EADY and posting it on Instagram. After Easy has already talked about Shamia's daughter, and then she threatened Kenya and caused all of this drama, and then you got two-faced snake-ass Porsha over here kicking it with EADY like they best friends. Girl, that's bullshit. Porsha is a snake. But I'm going to be back next episode, and we're going to talk about this whole Kenya situation, but I'm telling you right now, whatever Kenya did, and I told y'all this last year, I told you, I don't want to hear nothing about no revenge. Because those videotapes of EADY have been out for years. Those photos of her have been out for years. She's a working girl. This is not revenge. This is her resume. And if it's already been published, it's already been printed, she's already been paid for her services, what are we talking about revenge? This is who she is. When you're pretty and paid, the haters can't help but to throw shade. What happened to that shit? Y'all leave it in the comments. Do you believe that Kenya has been justified, or do you think, oh no, it's nothing that somebody can make you do to make you want to put out their pictures of them in a compromising position? You let me know. And second part to that question, do you believe that Bravo had an obligation to release EADY from her contract after she threatened Kenya? I want to know. Leave it in the comments and let's stay in touch.